Now I'm recording, Jeff.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Anything
Now we're set to
important to
go.
say now?
What?
Anything important to say now?
Probably not.
Well, the audio is working.
Yeah, and the Ting Show
Yeah,
really likes you today.
Yes.
I could hear the ting shaw on this camera. I couldn't hear it last week.
Ah, so questions, reports.
Not at the
Uh,
moment, no.
How's your roundness? The
you
roundness
say,
of your movement.
Right. In process.
Your breath. Well, all right. Um, any questions about the circular movements in the eight gates? Since that was a real question last week.
yeah, I tried to work on it, but it's, that's still going on. I was doing the circles the wrong way, the elbows the wrong way. Yeah.
Uh huh. Well, so do you feel you understand where you want to be going?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay.
I've also had, a couple of physical issues this week that ankle and hip. Uh,
Yep. Okay. Our issues slow us down.
yeah.
Okay. So let's, in order to try to be really clear about all of that, I'd like each of you to do the eight gates separately.
Okay.
So, who would like to go first?
You decide, Bill. I can go if you'd like.
Okay. I can go.
Okay.
Um,
It's up to you. I'll
uh,
go.
yeah, I can go, Jeff. I
Okay.
was thinking of David. Will you interrupt me, please?
Okay.
Um, as it goes, I think that would be actually more useful to me than waiting to the end.
Okay.
So,
That's fine.
you want me sideways or frontways?
Um, Probably front.
Okay.
Okay, so let's stop there.
Good, I knew it.
um, so the beginning of that
Yeah.
is that as the arms are coming up to the middle of the body, the elbows are coming in, and as they go up to the top, they're going out.
That,
Better. Now hold that position for a moment. Drop
uh,
your elbows. Ah. Do you feel a change in the energy?
yeah, yes. And the ball got smaller, actually.
Yeah. And
It,
and
out here,
yep.
yeah.
You want the elbows to point downwards. It could be 45 degrees without any issue, but when it gets above 45 degrees, you begin to lift the shoulders and cut off the flow.
Yeah. Well, actually, my first reaction is that this feels more like a, a rectangle, but uh, but I understand, and there was a change in energy. So,
Yeah. Um, so you have to find how do you get that sense of it being a sphere instead of a rectangle?
um, well, it becomes a sphere when my elbows are moving out.
Uh-huh. So remember that part of bending and extending is the wrists also bend.
Yeah,
So if you allow the wrist to bend a little bit, that begins to round that whole structure a little bit more.
yeah. Interestingly, now this creates a different elbow, not issue, but I'll have to move them differently than I was practicing this week because they're pointed straight down.
Well, they don't have to go to straight down. They
No, oh, okay, yeah, that's just
so don't.
exaggerating. Okay,
Okay.
so in, and then out.
So you have to find how to round that transition when it begins.
Okay. Um, I, okay, what I did was bring it in this way.
Okay. So when you complete a, that pung movement, if
Yes,
you allow it to begin by going out a little, out and up slightly, and then in, now you've got the thumbs coming in, and then you can
okay,
have the thumbs going out as you go into Kun Earth.
okay.
So let me. You asked
Well,
for this,
it's
Bill.
wonderful. It really is. I mean, exactly what I need. I don't know about Jeff, but
Well,
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
it'll help him too. So
Yep,
think about the fact that you want that circle that you're drawing to
yep,
be right along the sideline of the body. It's not going out and in the sense of going out to the side and then into the center. It's going into the body and out, into the body and out to complete.
oh, okay, yes. I think
You,
what must be going on is that my elbows are pulling.
yep.
pulling, but the
I
movement of
yes.
elbows is affecting the in and out.
That's part of the complexity of the movement.
Yeah.
So what I'm feeling there, Bill, is that actually let me make me larger and so you can see me for a moment.
Okay.
So that movement is just the elbows come in, everything's bending in as it circles in, and then as it goes out, the elbows go out. So those circles are just this way. And the elbow can still move even though the hands are kept in the line in a line with the sideline of the body.
Okay.
That's if I'm being too specific for you here, just tell me.
No, not at all. It's uh,
Okay.
this is this is the kind of thing I need, so and
Okay.
I it's it's a matter of um somewhat my misunderstanding what uh, circling with the elbows is, so that's changed almost week to week over the last month or two. So, so it's not settled. And this morning with the elbows pointed more down, it's a slightly different feel.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
okay, let me just do a couple.
So don't go into the center. Stay on the sidelines.
Oh, even for the transition.
What?
Even the transition stays out.
That everything stays out except except for the last posture.
Okay, so when I'm going from this posture to this one, the hands don't come in.
They don't come in, they
Oh,
circle. They
okay.
bend in towards the body, but then they go out.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yep.
I've always been bringing them in
Yep.
for that. Okay.
Better. So again, don't go into the center as you transition.
Oh, yeah, okay. That I'm going to have to relearn because I have been deliberately going into the center for all the transitions. My bad.
You're not bad. It's just a process. Good.
They go in.
Yep. Don't go into the center. Okay, so let me stop you and ask about that just because watching you on Zoom, I'm not 100% sure. You want that circle to be going in a diagonal forward towards the corner from the body. Um,
Okay.
do you understand what I mean?
Okay.
I'm not real clear on it, David. If you wouldn't mind maybe showing a side view.
Yep.
I, whichever one it is, the name escapes me, but the one at 45, that one goes toward the corner too. Yes, obviously.
That's mountain, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Again,
So
yeah, that
Well,
one I knew. This
it's
one
not.
I
It's
think I
Earth,
might
not
be missing.
mountain. So your arms are out at a 45-degree angle, approximately, towards the corners. It's as if you were standing in a square, and your arms are going out towards those corners.
yeah,
And if I turn this so that the the corner is straight towards the camera,
yeah,
the circle is in and out. It's
yeah,
going right around that diagonal line.
yeah.
It's not doing this.
David, but that's that's the posture that comes later in the. Uh,
Oh, am I doing the wrong? I'm sorry.
Right there,
yeah,
that's what I was saying. The one that Bill was saying was he was saying that this we're trying to differentiate between this one and the one that comes later, which was the mountain.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is mountain. Yes.
yes.
Well, I'm sorry. That's my fault. I got confused there. So
Okay.
in this one, you're trying to do as much as you can to make this circle go along a parallel line here. So it's going to come in and go out, and in and go out. Can
So
you see?
a question with that, David.
Yeah,
As you're doing the in part of that,
yeah.
and your palm is then facing your body, are you feeling a connection with your palm and the side channel?
You know, um, this one is more related to simply being aware of the etheric body.
Okay.
This one does not connect directly to the side channels. It there. I shouldn't say it doesn't because it does, but your connection here is not specifically to get the side channels going, but to be
Right.
aware of that, of moving the energy in and out.
Okay. Okay.
So
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 go ahead.
so in the second half
Yeah.
of this, the focus is a little different
Okay.
because that one and obviously this one and this one, the three of them are not working along the side channel in the way that the first four are. They do move the
Right.
energy through the side channel. There's no question. And actually, at a more advanced stage, you can move the energy through the central channel, even though the hands don't come into the center. But that's
Right.
that's another stage. Um,
Okay.
Obviously, the middle Dantian one does come into the center and then separates. but that's a
Right.
connection to the wrist points and then into the dantian, into the Lao Gong point, and then this one, of course, is again on the side channels.
Right. Okay.
So if you remember that one of the purposes here is not only to move the energy through the body, but to gather energy. So those ones in the second half are working on bringing energy in from other angles, from other directions.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, sorry about the confusion on this one, but do you understand with this one what you're trying to do?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to probably be able to keep it absolutely straight this way, but you do it as close to it as possible. The position of the arms makes it somewhat difficult to do that. So don't go into the center with that one.
Like this again. Oh, well, okay.
Uh huh. Yep. So again, you want to try to keep the hands circling on the side lines, not. What direction are you thinking about your circle going there?
What direction? I'm sorry.
So, what direction do you think the circle is going there? So, it should be back to a more vertical circle. Yeah. Yep. Uh huh. Don't lift the elbows too high.
I'm too far up anyway.
Yep. But that. Yep. Try not to let the hands drift into the center.
I saw them that time.
Okay. So, any other questions in there at the moment, Bill?
Uh, no, no, that was really good. Thank you.
Well,
So that was very helpful. So I'm sure I'll add more to it now.
so remember that everything starts from feet together. Even if you, even if when you step out you take time to simply stand before you begin to move, the
Right.
the posture, the practice begins with the feet together. So don't let the hands come into the center, Jeff. So I didn't see the roundness at the top of that transition. It may be the angle of the camera, but um,
Yeah, I did purposely do somewhere I haven't in the past, but this is what I did up here. I did this.
yeah, and it's interesting seeing you from this angle. Remember
Yeah.
that the focus is not on bending the knees and shoving them forward, but bending the back, the spine.
Right.
I
Okay.
mean, the legs do bend a little, but the
Right.
focus is the spine, not the knees.
Right.
So I'm going to stop you again. Keep trying to be aware of where is the midpoint of your transition. Where does the twisting and bending in change to twisting and bending out? Um, Make sure you're not coming into the center there. Hmm. Good. Can you turn sideways, Jeff? That's okay. I would make it a little smaller circle, and you can let it be a little bit closer to the body so that you're not pushing forward quite so much. Would you turn that one sideways? Turn back and face me again. So remember where the middle dantian is. Where is the middle
Am I high?
dantian? What?
Was I a little high?
Uh huh.
Okay.
Where is the middle dantian?
Bottom of the sternum, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. I was up
underneath.
here.
Yeah,
Okay, this is the bottom of my sternum right here.
yeah.
All right.
So I think one of the things to really work on for you, Jeff, is to make the circles in your pulsing smaller.
Right.
They're just
Okay.
you're let them be smaller and more precise.
Okay. I also need to remember to focus on the C curve throughout as well,
Yeah,
which I lose a lot. So I'm still working on that.
yeah. It takes a while to put it all together.
Yeah, I like you said at the beginning, much less knee and much more C curve from the back.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the main thing I think I need to do.
And also remember that um, allowing the fingers and the wrist to bend are part of bending and extending.
Yeah, no, that that's part of why I was kind of forgetting the C curve because I was more when I what little practice I was able to get in this week with this, I was focusing on incorporating all the way to the fingertips, and that's so I kind of let go of the C curve this week, and I forgot to
Yeah,
get back to it here. But I'm definitely focusing on the wrists and the fingers being part of it,
good.
um, because I do feel quite a significant difference when I'm doing that correctly.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, very significant.
Okay. Any other questions in this?
Well, that was really good, Bill. I'm glad you actually suggested to do it that way with stopping along the way.
Yeah.
That was really ideal.
Good.
No, I'm sitting here. I'm actually kind of embarrassed that with the hands moving to the center, I've been sitting here and pulling my hands back, and when I look at them out in front of me, they're closer than I think they are.
Hmm.
And I
Mm.
don't understand that because usually I have good hand-eye coordination, but you know, it,
Well,
it, it's going to, when I get them, pull them back and they are on the side channel, I realize that, whoa, that's a different, ball game entirely.
and in those postures where you are focusing into the side channel, you can actually feel it moving through there, um, at least eventually,
Yeah.
if you have that connection. Um, and you have the wonderful thing is that you have that Laogong point to focus to the side channel, and that is the most open energy point in the body. Um,
Mm.
if you think about,
That's part of what I was asking you before, David, with those other postures on the side is like when because sometimes when I'm doing those side ones that aren't necessarily on directly on the side channels all the time, I can still feel like if when I pass through that part, I feel a little bit of a pulse when I connect to it briefly as the hands are going back.
oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
well
So
that's what
that's
I was saying that I should should not say that you don't have any connection with the side channels.
yeah, yeah.
You do, but that's not the focus in that those
For
postures.
those postures,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Okay. So how is Wave Hands coming? Is that I get a wave? Is that- Thank you.
Okay, working on it.
Okay. Um, so why don't you flow together up through Wave Hands, and then we'll go
Okay.
beyond that separately. So
Okay.
go through Wave Hands and then pause.
Right.
Your ankle bothering you, Bill?
It is.
Well, don't overdo. um,
Yeah, it sort of gave away at the beginning there.
yeah. Um, so, any particular questions up through there for you? Okay.
No,
Um, Jeff, I'd like you to go back and um, start follow and focus in the corner and go through wave hands again.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the problem there is partly a question of timing. So you're stepping to the left late, and that's part of what's causing you to lose part of the flow in there. Yeah. See, um, let me show you what I mean.
Okay.
So the step comes when the arms are about this position, so that the step is starting that rotation from this position to here. And then you still have rotation to go all the way through there. And the other side is different, but when you come back here, when you get to about this point, that's when you're starting that rotation, but you're also stepping at that point. Boom.
Was I stepping too late? Was that my
Yeah,
problem?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it was causing you, what was happening was that as you came back to here, you were
All
getting
right.
to this point, and by the time you stepped, you were here. And it was difficult for you to keep it rotating through the circle then.
I see. Okay. Got it.
Just a subtle
Okay.
bit, but um, I think will help that flow a little better for you. Yeah, just don't shift your weight too far forward there also, because that puts stress on the knee.
Okay.
Do you
Yeah,
know what
I do feel a difference doing it that little bit earlier, that little bit sooner, keeping the Dantian going consistently.
Yeah,
Okay.
good. So, going on from there.
Yeah.
So, since I have you up on the screen, do you want to start, Jeff?
Okay. Where do you want me to start from?
The single whip after wave hands.
I have to change position from here.
Hmm. Okay, so let's stop there. Um,
Good.
Actually, that's pretty good. You've got actually better balance than either Bill or I do at this
I'm a
point.
lot younger too, so
Yeah, well, mine's getting better. I'm getting my strength back from the sciatica. So,
yeah,
but
that's great.
um, now what was I wanted to say to you? Oh, really? Remember that subdued tiger has to come in and out as you go
Okay.
through that. It has two parts to that movement, just like most of them do.
Right.
so,
So I was just doing the in and the rotation. I wasn't coming back out. Is that what you're
yeah,
saying?
yep,
Okay. Actually, I didn't realize that.
yeah, good. Bill, do
Okay.
you want to try
Okay.
this? It, can you, Bill, or is that doing too much to your ankle?
We'll see. It comes and it goes, which is the tricky part of it. It's down below on the inside below the ankle bone this morning. So
Oh, well, I can't see your feet, so it's all right. Actually, your kicks look better today.
they actually felt better than they usually do. So
So, couple of things. Yeah, sit down, rest for a minute. You were kind of rushing um, a little too much through lift hand. Um, you started out well. You got to here, but then you've got that additional step, and you're still twisting and bending in at that point, and then as you reverse your movement, it goes out into the completion of the posture.
yeah,
Um, and
You
that,
know, what I still am dealing with is the rotation to the left in the middle of that.
yep,
So,
um, I I can understand that. um, it's finding the circularity of it.
yeah.
Um, I understand what you're saying. It's a little difficult to get that, but um, and then when you've arrived at that point,
Yeah.
um, coming back, this has to bend in and then go out, and then come in again and go out. Do it right, David.
Okay.
And the key.
David, the hand position there, where are the two hands? That I thought they were lower for some reason. I've been doing. I think my upper one's been lower than that.
Um,
So they're the two dantians. Is that what you're doing?
it
Lower
it
and
it is a little lower. I was a little high.
so where you are now is where it should be.
Yeah, it's the middle dantian and the lower dantian.
Okay. Yeah, I was a little lower than that. So that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, that's a tough section. It's
Hmm.
not an um, easy section through there. Uh,
Yeah. That first part, David, where we're going from, where we're doing this part. Now this part from right here, is this meant to be like an arm lock, an arm break?
um,
I'm trying to get a feel for what the energy is. That to me, martially, it's like an arm lock, and you're kind of doing that.
it it could be. I think there are a lot of possibilities there, actually.
Right. Well, what do you think was most? What energy would you most associate with that?
Um,
Yeah, that part.
I think this is, to my mind, this is probably like a, you're right, an arm lock like or an elbow break, and
Yeah.
probably you're in Pung and
On.
on.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I. It wasn't to me. It wasn't clearly one energy. That's why I'm asking. What
Oh,
kind of
very often
we're
it's
thinking of.
not.
Yeah.
Um,
Right. And
the
very often I'm finding that I don't always think of things martially. Sometimes I do, and that seemed to be more of a martial application in that
yeah.
particular posture.
Well, of course they all are, but
Right. Right.
but
Some seem more aggressive than others. Let's put it that way.
well, yes, that's
Yeah.
undoubtedly true.
Yeah.
um, so, why don't you both uh, start at the beginning and flow up to this point?
I'm given my space limitations. I have to adjust before I go into the subdue tiger moves.
That's okay. Okay. So, one of the things to remember is when you do shoulder and white goose, it's a really subtle thing there, is that the forward movement continues through shoulder and white goose. So shoulder has to complete before you arrive at your dynamic limit. And white goose must not go beyond your dynamic limit. Actually, you're going to 100% eventually. So you really have to slow down the shifting part of those two transitions.
Right.
Bill, you for some reason you were having more trouble with wave hands this time. Remember that on the left side, when you make the step, your right hand is higher than your left, so that the step actually starts that part of the turn.
I I was aware. I was wondering whether it was the power of suggestion with what you told Jeff.
Oh, okay.
But no, it felt not as coordinated. So
Yeah. Um, and the next parts just need a little bit of practice.
practice, Well, actually, coming out of raised hand, I just completely dropped the first part of that before we go into subdue tiger.
Oh, really?
I don't know why, but I wasn't,
Ah,
pushing it.
yeah. It's gotta have its twisting and bending in and then out.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I'm inclined to think that might be enough for today.
It was a full day, full morning. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Plenty to think about. Um,
Yep.
rem- any other questions at the moment?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Remember, there's no class next week because I have a doctor's appointment I have to do.
Yep. Okay.
And so I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Um, and that will be the beginning of a
Sure.
new session in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and actually, Jeff, you would have seen this. Bill got another email that he would have seen this, but I've closed the Peaceful Wolf checking account, so checks need to be made out to me and not to Peaceful Wolf.
Right. Okay. David, for this next session, remember when I was there in person, I gave you cash for it.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
Okay. Just
I'd forgotten that.
remember when I did like the
Yep,
private lesson, and I also prepaid the next session for this as well at the same time.
I'd completely forgotten. I'm glad you reminded me.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's been almost 2 months, so that's why I'm
yeah.
bringing it back up. So
Right. Okay, no, okay, then you don't have to worry about that this time.
right, right. I just wanted to remind you because it has been a couple of months, and I
Yep.
preferred giving you cash while I was there. Much easier than going through the Venmo
No,
and all that. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
yeah.
So, good. So, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
See you for this class in 2 weeks, and Bill, I'll see you tomorrow
Yeah.
morning.
Right.
I hope all goes well with the doctor, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Take care.
Take care.
You too.